Well, good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. This is the most important report you're going to get today. I'm telling you, from anywhere. I mean that. This is phenomenal. I got this out of the Federalist. If you don't follow the Federalist, you should. And if you don't have Freedom Hill coffee, you need to get some. Use code Lumberjack and save 10%. I'm kind of excited I got a sponsor. Anyways, I will link the link to Freedom Hill Coffee in the show notes below. They're a small roaster. They have not gone woke like Black Rifle Coffee Company, and they support veterans and those coming out of PTSD and the different situations that they're dealing with. Owner's a great guy, and he's good friends with Bill Bailey. For those of you who know Bill, connected me with him. So anyways, big report here. Australia's COVID police state is what happens when you give up your guns. Now listen to this next line. The COVID totalitarianism Aussies find themselves in today serves as a stark reminder to forever safeguard the right to self-defense, for it will offer more security than the government could ever guarantee. And folks, while I am gone elk hunting, I am going to have a video uploaded that I did with Constitution Vet that goes over the Second Amendment and the whole process of militias and all that kind of stuff. So, since the outset of the COVID-19 lockdowns, Australia has instituted some of the strictest lockdown measures in the Western world. Once viewed as a free, prosperous society, the nation has slowly devolved into a full-fledged police state, with the federal government even going so far as to prohibit citizens from leaving the country. At the state level, the situation is seemingly worse, with the severity of COVID restrictions varying among localities. In the greater Sydney region of New South Wales, local authorities have restricted most interstate travel, forcibly shuttered places of worship, and limited the reasons individuals are allowed to leave their homes. Yeah. Oh, well, you can't leave your... What? Okay, likewise in Victoria, where citizens remain in indefinite lockdown, state officials have instituted a curfew from 9 p.m. to 5 p.m. in metropolitan Melbourne. Can you imagine living this way, folks? Most recently, the government of South Australia decided to expand their police powers even further, with officials announcing plans for a new app that uses... This is creepy. That uses facial recognition software to track the movements and location of its citizens to ensure universal compliance. Are you getting this, folks? People in South Australia will be forced to download an app that combines facial recognition and geolocation, The Atlantic reported. And The Atlantic, I'm quite certain, was cheering it. The very people who were supposed to be purveyors of free speech and human rights are now cheering it being given up. This is nuts. Coupled with egregious reports of a father getting arrested in front of his infant child for going maskless at a local park and police detaining hundreds of lockdown protesters, the country bears all the hallmarks of a dying, once free society. But here's the key point, folks. Aussies gave up their liberty with their arms. While they may not realize that Australian citizens relinquished any guarantees to individual liberty the moment they allowed their government to ban private gun ownership. Decades prior, following a horrific mass shooting in 1996, Australia took up a series of extreme gun control measures that effectively made it exceedingly difficult, if not impossible, to own a firearm. In addition to banning semi-automatic rifles and certain categories of shotguns, the nation's government also issued a compulsory buyback program. Yes, it goes on, folks. Okay, I'm going to link to this article. You can read it in its entirety. But I want you to listen to something. In the American context, the Founding Fathers understood that the right of the people to keep and bear arms was an absolute necessity. Having learned from the fallen nations of the past, the framers understood that the citizenry must be armed in order to prevent the state from encroaching upon their God-given rights. And I will guarantee you, folks, that's why we still have freedom here in America. To the extent that we have it. It is a republic if we can keep it, folks. Okay? Now, this goes on. But I want you to understand, I'm going to bring you right to the last paragraph. By surrendering their arms to the state all those years ago, the Australian people mistakenly placed the defense of a free society in the hands of infallible politicians who are beyond capable of sin and have demonstrated a clear willingness to violate the very ideals that have made Western civilization unique. The COVID totalitarianism Aussies find themselves in today serves as a stark reminder to forever safeguard the right to self-defense, for it will offer more security than any government could ever guarantee. That's right, folks. You're personally responsible for your safety, for your security, all right? And that's what makes this Second Amendment so great, so vitally important. Don't ever give it up, folks. Look at what happened in Sand Creek, Wounded Knee, and so on. You just don't give them up. All right? I love you, folks. Remember, go to freedomhillcoffee.com, enter promo code Lumberjack, and you can get 10% off your order and support a great company. And support me, too. Why not? Anyways, thanks so much, folks. Peace out.